While we try to bring you the best stories possible, some are not all they're quacked up to be.
I'm supposed to say that I can't believe you just said that, but I 100% believe you just said that.
Well, for one, Neil wrote it, and it was a ducky callback, and I'm going to go ahead and just do every pun I can.
If we're done with the puns, let's show you what was one of our more popular stories this year. TWILA's Neil Melancon introduced us to Dale Bordelon, a real Cajun keeping his culture alive through handmade duck calls.
For Dale Bordelon, when it comes to duck calls, louder isn't always better. Here in his shop, fine-tuning his own handmade calls is a lot like finding the right tool for the right job.
Like this old timer told me, anybody can kill a duck, anybody can call a duck to 50 yards, but it's from there to landing that takes a duck caller. And you gotta have a soft call. Ducks working, wear it to fine-tune them.
Not only does he make the duck calls, but pretty much everything else. He makes the pirogues like this one and the oars that he paddles out in. Even more, he makes these molds he crafts the calls with, and these knives he uses to carve.
So this is how I make my soundboards. I pull it all together, then I take the smooth end, smooth it out. Take my sandpaper and I sand it down. And I end up with a perfect dowel pin. It's all round on one side.
Dale spent most of his career working for a nearby grain elevator. However, his passion has always been duck hunting, and over the last 30 years, he's made a career out of it.
I built them like they, did in the 1800s. So I didn't plan on nothing. I just started making calls, and people did it. I had a few magazine articles and podcasts, and they just kind of took off. And then people got a hold of them, and then other people seeing. So it's just kind of a word of mouth deal. And I'm doing this full time, so that's a job. I got a job, and I got my son helping me.
Dale makes his duck calls using river cane, which is different than bamboo. It grows best under forest canopies on riverbanks and has a unique property that makes it ideal for Dale's calls.
This is a clumping bamboo versus a river cane. See that river cane, how small? You talk about strong. You can't hardly split that river cane.
His products have won awards and attracted customers from all across the world. For a guy who just wants to hunt, he's busy most days. His calls have a 2-year waiting list.
Whenever my kids got grown and I started doing this as a hobby, and I had a friend of mine that wanted to call, so I made him one. He showed somebody, he wanted one, and next thing you know, 10 people want them. And now I have a waiting list 2 to 3 years long.
For Dale, it's much more than just working with his hands on a hobby. It's about the preservation of a culture that's been handed down since Cajuns first came to Louisiana. The passion for his craft, he says, comes from knowing it will survive another generation.
I love doing it, and the biggest thing of all, I love sharing my Louisiana heritage. That means a lot to me. So if I could just stay healthy like them old people, I'd be happy to keep this going.
Okay, so Dale, I've never blown a duck call before. I want you to show me how we're going to do it here.
Okay, so Neil, you take your index finger and your thumb. You put that exhaust barrel in there. That's just to hold it. You don't kill it. Leave it open just to hold it. Put that call in your mouth like you're drinking out of a Coke bottle. The bottom lip, put the top lip, and you open your mouth up a little bit. There you go. Yeah. All you want to do is 3, 4, 5 notes with the first note longer coming down. Neil, like you never blew a call before. I believe that's pretty good.
Well, thank you. I learned from a master. The only reason I'm any good is because of you. Thank you very much, Dale. And we're going to have a link to Dale's website on our website at twilatv.org, where you can get your very own handmade Louisiana duck call. Reporting for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Neil Melancon.
Now, if you want a handmade duck call of your own, you can get them, but there is a wait. We'll link you over to Dale's website at our website, twilatv.org.